to understand the features. Right from Allu Arjun when he shot Arya, I generally do a test, makeup test. Every movie, even a superstar Rajni sir also. But then I want to do a test shoot. It's not a test for him, test for me. When it comes to love, Suku is superb. He's a master in writing love stories. Light plays a major role. It brings out the character. Cinematography is not superficial. You have to travel deep into the layer. One more layer of travel. And then I was there into the script for 4 months. Every single scene I was just thinking how to shoot this. So they found Rathnavelu, big rats, rants and all, they started calling different names. It's a nickname, that's it. But that became famous. Everybody, Rajni sir, Shankar sir, Aishwarya, everybody started calling Andy. That's why it's famous. Otherwise, Rathnavelu is my name.
Randy மாதிரி ஒரு கேமராமேன் வந்து பார்த்தது கிடையாது, மனுஷனையும் நான் பார்த்தது கிடையாது. சங்கர் சொன்ன மாதிரி அவர் மட்டும் அவர் கோஆப்ரேஷன் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னா 4 வருஷம் ஆனால் கூட இந்த படம் முடிஞ்சிருக்காரு.
Andy, it's been a privilege to have been photographed by you. You have been incredible for my vanity.
Hello everyone, I'm Hemant Kumar and you're watching Talking Movies with iDream. We have a very special guest on our show today and he's Mr. Rathnavelu, also popularly known as Randy. In the past 18 years he has worked on several critically acclaimed and commercially successful films like Nanda, Sethu, Varanam Aayiram, Robo and One Nenokkadine to name a few. His upcoming film Kumari 21F is slated for release on November 20th. And he's also currently shooting for Mahesh Babu's next film Brahmotsavam. So let's see what she has to say about his illustrious career so far. Rathnavelu sir, thank you so much for joining us here. It's a great privilege to have you on our show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
First of all, I want to ask you, how did Rathnavelu become Randy? When did this happen?
So even in film titles, I get only Rathnavelu. I was working with Rajiv Menon sir when I passed out from Film Institute. So we used to shoot a lot of commercials. Most of our clients used to be from Bombay or Delhi and most North Indians used to come. So they found Rathnavelu, big rats, rants and all, they started calling different names. Then finally Rajiv just told Randy, he told, then it became that. It's a nickname, that's it. But that became famous. Everybody, Rajni sir, Shankar sir, Aishwarya, everybody started calling Randy. That's why it's famous. Otherwise, Rathnavelu is my name.
Rathnavelu. நாங்கள் ராண்டின்னு தான் கூப்பிடுவோம்.
You're from Tamil Nadu, is it? Is it Chennai or?
Chennai FT80.
Okay, you grew up in Chennai.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, right. I read that you have a bachelor's degree in physics. So when did this whole fascination for films begin and why cinematography in first place?
Basically, I wanted to become I was interested in photography. Then I wanted to become a cinematographer too. But my parents objected. They didn't want me to get into film line. And then they told me, you just get a basic graduation. And they were trying to push me towards engineering, which I didn't want to do. Then for their sake, I just studied BSc physics. I got that promise, after physics I would do cinematography.
They were okay with that?
They were okay with that.
Right.
So that's how it happened. But then this physics helped me a lot in understanding optics and all those things. So it was really a good experience studying physics. It helped me a lot. Even understanding things became much easier.
Where do you see that come into play in your day-to-day basis, right? You're dealing a lot with light and how it interacts with, surfaces or human skin. So, do you recollect what all you have studied there, or is just that?
It just comes. I mean, you study, but then you recollect. After 15 years, 20 years, it's of use to you. And then, for me, cinematography is a mixture of art and science. So just art alone won't help you, or technique alone doesn't help. It's a mixture of both art and science. So you need to upgrade yourself. I keep reading every week, at least at some 4-5 hours I keep on upgrading myself, read. That really helped me a lot. That's why I've been there in the industry for quite some time. Otherwise people vanish because technology starts growing. Every 6 months, 1 year, the camera starts, new cameras, new technology starts coming in. You need to be updated. At the same time, this technique alone doesn't really help you. It's art, it's a feel. If you see all my movies, light plays a major role. I feel light is very emotional. I don't light up just to make some beautiful images. good still photography is enough to give you beautiful images. But then to convey the director's script and thought, you need to put your heart and soul into it. 2 days back, Sukumar, he came to the DI setup. He watched Kumari 21F, few reels. He told me that myself, Devi, Suku were there. He told, when the character wants to laugh, your photography is laughing. When somebody wants to cry, your cinematography, your visual is crying. So death, anything is shown through visual. That is very important, I feel. Just, one light lesser will give the mood, one light more would kill it and then make it do. So I feel cinematography is a mixture of both.
Rathnavelu. எல்லாரும் செட்டுக்கு வர்றதுக்கு முன்னாடியே மொத்த லைட்டிங் முடிச்சு வச்சுட்டு எல்லா ஷாட்டையும் 5 நிமிஷம் 10 நிமிஷத்துக்குள்ள லைட்டிங் பண்ணி முடிச்சதுனால தான் இந்த படம் இப்போ முடிஞ்சது. இல்லாட்டி 4 வருஷம் அந்த படம்.
So you're constantly tinkering with the lighting to create that mood.
Exactly.
So you just mentioned that you read a lot. What is it that you're talking about?
No, it's a growth in the industry. Technically, it's been growing 2K, 4K, 6K, 8K, and then machines. See, cameras, Red Epic, Red Dragon, and like that it starts on growing. So you need to upgrade yourself. What is the advantage you can take? Even in the DI setup, few years back, some 10 years back when I shot Jagadam, it was different. Now it's completely different. And these tools are really useful. You need to really use them. To use them properly, you need to read. Even if you say, for example, when we did Robo, it was a very challenging project for me. This animatronics and all, we never worked into it. So I started reading about, before the Americans came into that, these guys who work for Jurassic Park, Terminator, who did animatronics, before meeting them, I started reading about animatronics so that at least I can converse with them, talk. So that's why you need to really update.
Right. Now, over the years, the entire definition of cinematography has changed. For the longest time, it was like a very good visual. Probably people, I think that perception is still there. If you show a great image on screen, people think that's automatically good cinematography. But given the advent of digital technology, or like you just mentioned, so many cameras are coming up every 2-3 months, you get a new product out there. And so how do you perceive this change in the style of filmmaking from a cinematography point of view?
No, we should take it like a boon only, I feel. See, initially, many cinematographers told that digital technology is going to last forever. Even I had the same feeling in 1995 or 96 when they were trying to push this digital.
Oh, it came that early, 95?
I became a DOP at 1996.
Okay.
And then even during later 2000, they told digital was take over. But then film was existing. It delivered much better result than the digital. That's because the entire workflow supported movie-based workflow. Later, right from shooting to post, support is much better with the digital, and you can take a lot of advantage with digital. So we started accepting it. Even I wasn't happy shooting with the red one cameras. We have been used to certain kind of attitude, dynamic range, seeing that visual quality. That fineness in the visual was lost with digital. I felt. Later, now with the advent of new technology, it's really good. I started using Red Epic camera for the Nenokkadine movie, and it completely changed the Telugu industry. Almost after that film, 75% people started using Red Epic cameras or Alexa camera.
What are the advantages there? Like you just mentioned Red Epic there, right? Compared to other cameras. Is it your favorite camera now? Do you sort of use it quite often?
I regularly use Red Epic Red Dragon cameras as well as Alexa. I like it's more close to film look, I feel, and it delivers wonderful result in extreme low light conditions. Say for example, when I shot Nenokkadine in London car parking lot, it was like in huge, I already spoken about this in interviews, but then again other people have not seen it. It was a huge one, 3 acres basement car parking lot and Suku's concept always is different. Such a huge area, it's a power cut. Hero shuts on the power, it's only emergency lamp and bike headlights. So the gaffer who worked for me, he's from UK, he's worked a lot of big time DOPs in UK. Then he was asking about the requirements, some 18K power, 16K power, all these things from distance. I told no, just give me 3 LED light and 3 torchlights. Are you kidding? He asked me. Are you crazy? No, that's the style I'm trying to do. Just pump in some smoke for me. That's it. Then we started shooting. He thought like he wasn't, he didn't respect. He thought, what, this is mad. Huh? After seeing 2-3 shots, he started hugging me. The same day he gifted me something. So that's all. See, we understand technology very well and we try to implement. I thought I can explore more. I can see too much into this camera. Can see too much into dark.
Which one? The red epic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll have to explore it properly. See, when you're using this kind of low light cameras, you're putting so much light, it doesn't make sense. You need to explore it. You need to get deep into the dark. You need to understand that. That is more important.
You just mentioned about Sukumar Garu, that his concepts are always very different. So, and you yourself have said this many times that he's one of your closest friends in the industry. So, what are your conversations like? Like, what do you talk about? Do you understand him that well because of the association you have with him, or are you just fascinated with his mind?
No, generally any movie I involve, I ask the director for narration. Then I read the script once, twice, thrice. I try to understand what is his point of view. How can I take to next level? With me and Suku, it's different. We both really go very well. I understand the scripts very well, and we have a very good vibration. That frequency is more important. That day also Suku was telling me last week, see, I don't know to tell you, when I come, little, he'll say, something happy, you do something magic, he'll do. You know which little is, my little is which. Koncham, abdina, that is different. So that frequency is something else. Suddenly we'll go to a bad location. Sometimes we find a bad location. Suku will get really pissed off and he'll look at that. Then he'll look at me. Suku, just a second, I say. And then try to put something. That is the frequency. I understand the script more than him. That we've been. No, that's because we both are very close friends and we really. Understanding director's vision is more important. See, translating his script. He's been writing for 1 year, 2 years. So you need to translate his script to the audience. That is more important. He will be visualizing something, suddenly you are something else. No, it's really.
So how do you reach that middle ground? Like for Sukumar Garu, you said that you have a good frequency with him, but for other.
No, that's because as a cinematographer, you need to know more about the script, more about direction, more about the shot, more about editing or cutting pattern. Then only you can really get. If you don't know, you can't really interact and you can't give smart solutions. I'm basically very spontaneous. You put me in any situation, just come out of it. So that should be the DOP's thing.
Right. Now, it's interesting that you bring in other elements like editing and other stuff that you just mentioned, right? So, in a lot of levels, the cinematographer's job doesn't just end with shooting a scene, right? Like you're involved in DI, again color grading and a lot of other stuff like that. So, has the role of a cinematographer changed in the modern era?
Not really, but then now we know that previously few years back cinematographers used to shoot and then go for color grading, like each and every frame we used to grade it, and then we see the print has been delivered properly. It's the same process, but it's become more digital. Few years back we used to get heart attacks, cinematographers, like the first day print will be very crystal clear, second, 10th day full of rain and dust will be going in the projector. But due to digital, the first day and 100th day will be very same, crystal clear. And then you need to work, but the problem is you need to understand the workflow. So following some wrong workflow will result in a bad quality. You need to be aware of the pre-production, post-production, shooting, everything. Cinematographers understand. So how do they make DCPs? And what is this format? It's a cube or a Scrabble or a PXD. All this format you need to know what is the resolution. So that when you understand, it's easy to communicate to people, and they think when you know something, they'll put extra effort into it.
You've been in the industry for almost 20 years, right? I want to know, how long did you assist Rajiv Menon Garu as a...
Probably 2 years. I passed out from Film Institute. I wanted to join only Rajiv Menon. I saw him shooting a commercial. The way he was shooting, I thought I went mad. I wanted to work only with this person. And I approached him, he asked few questions and he got impressed. I worked for some 30-40 commercials with him, and then only one film, Bombay, Mani sir's film. I'm a diehard fan of Mani Ratnam sir. So I got luck working in that movie.
You were an assistant.
DOP to Rajiv Menon. That gave me a great experience. I worked only for one movie. Immediately I became a DOP. Next movie I became a DOP. Started getting a lot of offers.
Like, how did that happen? Because of the commercials that you were shooting?
Because of commercial, moreover, Mani Ratnam, Rajiv Menon, Bombay, that became a big hit. So next level people will be wanting me. That's how it happened.
Your first film released in '97 as your DOP, Aravindan, but it bombed miserably the box office. But didn't that hamper your career, at least at that point of time?
Not really. The entire press was writing about the cinematography. Everybody was appreciating about the Navy Lignite Corporation, the way I shot, and the visuals were quite new and fresh, they were telling. But then it's very important. Movie, generally being a cinematographer or a music director, right collaboration or right movie at the right time is very important. I understood that. So after that I had a couple of movies, but then I accepted only working for Bala. Bala really loved that Aravindan visual. That's why he approached me. So myself, Bala, we started the career together in that movie. And the way he narrated the script was fantastic. But his looks weren't really supporting. When I saw him, he was very lean, and I saw him, it was like the way he was drinking tea and other thing, I couldn't understand he was a director. Once he started narrating, I thought, my God, this is the person, he's the director I have to work with. It was phenomenal. So he wrote it for 5-6 years, the script, Sethu. Then I had luck working with Bala and Vikram. We three got a very big break in Sethu. Though we didn't have a budget in that movie, I accepted because the script was very interesting. Within a shoestring budget, we delivered that much quality. In fact, that second half, that mental asylum portion, everybody was appreciating. PC Sriram, Rajiv Menon, Ravigesh, everybody they called me and I got a lot of awards for that movie. The look which I created. As I told you, look is very important for a movie. We've been seeing for the past 50-60 years, the mental asylum as a clean white and comical. We've seen a comical only. So I wanted to show in a grey, darker shade. So taking audience to a different level. So I gave a hyper-realistic visual in that. So the lighting will be very realistic, but the tone, I tried a green tone for that, dirty green tone that time. We were shooting a negative and the entire process was photochemical process. So we were restricted by not adding too many colors. So the graders will say, oh, you're losing skin tone. What is this full of greens? They'll say asking you. But then I thought this is a style I'm going to try. Bala told, please go ahead, whatever you feel, because I have great respect on your work. So go ahead, he told me. Then that reached, when Ilayaraja saw, sir, he saw in the post-production, when he was scoring music, suddenly he got stunned by the visual. Immediately called, Bala, who is this guy, cinematographer? Call him, I want to meet him. Then we met and he told, nobody can deliver such a documentary feel for this movie. You have created a different level, that too with analog film process. That was a great compliment from Ilayaraja sir. So you need to push it to a next level. Generally, doing the cliche same thing doesn't help you. You need to think it from a different perspective. That only help. But because I understood the script, as you asked me, I understood Bala and Bala's script very well. That's why I'm able to take it to a next level beyond his thoughts.
In a lot of ways, you've been very lucky, sir. You worked with a lot of big names. Bala and Gautham Menon and Shankar. But you seem to have enjoyed a lot of freedom, which probably not quite a few cinematographers would have. So what is that?
No, that's because I told you need to interact and you need to get the confidence of a director. Once when he narrates a script, you should try to give him your ideas also, how to. That is very important. When a director comes and asks you to put a camera, take a long shot, put a mid shot, then you become an operative cameraman. So it's basically two good creators coming and joining together. You need to try to put your effort. I mean, you can't say you're not given opportunity. See, Shankar sir is a very senior director, but then when you get in, we start working in Gautham also, it's a fantastic director to work with. And he's a guy who's very spontaneous. Suddenly he'll come, let's shoot here, he'll say. That time, you can't just shoot on an ordinary mediocre thing. You need to think it from that perspective. That is very important. So I've been always collaborating with directors very well. I don't talk much, but then when it comes to script, I talk a lot. Generally, I'm a shy cinematographer. I never talk much. Interaction is less. But when it comes to talking about script or those things, I talk a lot.
I mean, you don't talk much off screen. Is that what you're saying? Okay. But you do have a lot of friends in the industry, right? Telugu, Tamil.
Yeah, I do have, but then I don't socialize too much.
Yeah, I mean, why is that so?
I don't know. I'm just generally that. Right from my childhood, I've been like that. I don't talk too much. Very close set, 3-4 friends. Myself, Suku, Devi Sri Prasada, that Gautham, that we have Surya.
So people get a very different perception of you when you arrive on the set, is it? Like you worked with Shankar sir in Endhiran. Now that film is completely a lot of it.
And then I want to break this. I've been talking about Sethu. After Sethu, I've been getting some nearly 13 movies because Sethu became a sensation hit. It ran for 275 days, 300 days in Tamil Nadu. It became a very big hit. After that, nearly 13 movie offers came. Offers started pouring in, but I didn't take up any project. I did again Bala's Nanda after waiting for 1.5 years. That's because of passion towards cinema, nothing else. See, like first film bombed, the second film became a big hit. So getting success is again maintaining that success is very important, too difficult. So that's why I wanted a good script and good film and good director. So I got stuck with Bala, waited for another 1.5 years. I was just shooting commercials in between. Then after Nanda, I decided myself, Bala decided, let us go into commercial mode also. I started doing. Vijay started asking me, hero Vijay. Then I did Tirumala, Bhagavati, Arya, Suku. It all happened like continuously, like some 8 films back to back, 100 days movies. That's because of choice. It doesn't, I was very particular about the movies which I was doing. Either it's a, commercial or art, any form. That something should impress you.
Right. You worked with Sukumar for his first film as well, like 2004 Arya. So when did you two meet? Like how did that whole bonding start?
It happened very accidentally. My continuously 4-5 films were a big hit for me, and then but Suku was he had seen my Sethu and Nanda. Suddenly one day I got a call from choreographer Shankar master. He is a very close friend of Mr. Dilraju. He told new director called Sukumar, he's a big fan of you, he has seen your Sethu Nanda. When we asked, what do you want? I don't want anything, only Ratnavelu, he told. So then I asked for a narration. I'll listen to the script. If I'm interested, I'll do. Otherwise, I'll take the next flight and come, I told. So I came in the morning, started listening to the script, Arya. I was supposed to take a 12 o'clock flight. But then I waited until the night and I took a night flight and went back. So it was very impressive. The way our maths professor, Suku, the way he narrated was very new. It was very fresh air. Not only for Telugu cinema, for South Indian cinema, it was very fresh. The thoughts were new. He's a brilliant director. I found, okay, right guy, spotted him. Then our collaboration started.
Jagadam, your next film with Sukumar, it might have bombed, but then people still remember your work. Critically acclaimed and all that. So when I saw the film, I loved the whole color palette in that film. Very, how do you put it?
Yeah, even the lensing was very different in that movie. It was predetermined. When Suku started narrating me the script, I got too much into it. I didn't commit. Generally, I do only one film at a time. I never commit 2 movies. They say me 6 months, they push it 10 months also. I stick on to one project. So myself and Suku, we had a long discussion about Jagadam on and off. Suddenly when he gets out, he calls me. Then we talk, that it happened. So from my side, how to approach this. So then I started doing this way. Almost 99% of the movie was shot with block lens, no zoom lens. That was the first. Generally, whenever I do a movie, I do a do's and don'ts.
Okay.
In that I fixed. Don't use zoom. Try to go maximum fixed focal length lens, go up close. We started shooting using Super 35mm very well in that movie.
Okay.
And the color palette, costume, background color, everything we decided. So the hero or director's point of view will get reflected through visual.
Right. You just said no zoom lens, only block lens, right? So why was that? Like
that particular movie wanted that feel. See, like say for example Nanda, what happened? Everybody were using telephoto and backlit and very glamour visuals happening. Roja, Talabadi, that was the thing happening. Nanda was a very intense movie. Everything very less dialogues. Everything will be conveyed through visual. So what I did, I mean, that time telephoto lens and backlight was a trend. Most of the cinematographers are using that. I broke that. I wanted to use extreme wide angle lens. Generally wide angles were used for establishing locations, all those things. So for me, love or location or anything was through wide angle, because I was seeing Rameshwaram through every frame, even a close up you should see in the background. And this guy, hero, was a very intense guy. So every time showing through a wide lens, that was the approach. Suddenly that changed the trend. I mean, all the DOPs like Jiva, Ravi K. Chandran were talking about the visual best usage of wide angle lens in that movie. So you need to break it or push the envelope. You shouldn't stick on to that's my idea. Same thing happened with Jagadam also. So I understood the script very well. I thought you shouldn't say it in a very conventional way. It should be very unconventional. Through lensing or lighting or the mood. That's what happened.
But every time you bring in something new or try to break a rule, like you will be facing a lot of resistance, right?
That's because reason is I was thorough with my technique. When you know the law only, you can break the law. So, I mean, understanding things technically, you don't do falter, then it's okay. It's a creative thing only.
I really want to talk to you about Shankar's Robo, right? Very futuristic film. I understand that there's extensive pre-production about it, a lot of designs were drawn and all that, but when he first bounced this idea to you that I'm working on this idea, did your vision of the film match with his, or did you have to really work together to come to that common ground?
Like he narrated me the script for 7 hours. The first half went for 3 hours, second half for 4 hours. He was very clear how the things will happen, how Rajnisa hits, whatever happens, everything was very clear about his thing. Then pushing it, taking it to a next level was my concern. See, when he narrated the script, he told double action, that was okay. He told me 100 Rajni. And the Rajni is fantastic, but how to shoot? And that too, last 45 minutes, 100 Rajni. And we were still in the analog process. We were shooting in negative, no digital process. So to achieve that, how do we achieve it? Multiple layer compositing or motion control, or what technique you use? So the discussion, and then I liked the way he approached. He was very clear about the script. The way he narrated, he was very clear. So he wanted right people. So it happened. I generally get, adjusted according to the director's thing. Somebody is very commercial, then I'll get into that groove, and within the parameters I try to give the best result. Somebody is very artistic, I get into that way, do that way, so.
So you're always constantly looking to blend into the director's vision.
Exactly. They sit and write the script. You need to deliver, good result. It's not, I can deliver 100 beautiful images which are useless for the script. Doesn't work. You need to really give the best thing. You have to understand the script and deliver a good result.
So
cinematographers are people who take it to the audience. Director might think for 1 year or 2 years, but then you're the person who takes his vision to the audience. So you need to really understand the script very well.
But is there a trademark Rathnavelu in every film that you shoot?
I don't believe in trademark, but then people, they know a lot of software guys, they say, so Varanam Aayiram, they say Rathnavelu, they say, it's there, but then I come out of it. Then yours become very stereotype, right? Okay, this kind of lighting is Rathnavelu, then it doesn't work.
Now, at the audio launch of Nenokkadine, Mahesh Babu and Gaga over you, like, I think he almost called you the best cinematographer he's worked with or something like. So when you work with a star like that, or even Rajni sir for that matter, does your approach to cinema itself change? Because they are superstars at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course it really matters, because even in Hollywood, when you're working with Tom Cruise or anybody, you have the pressure because they are superstars. People are paying millions or billions of dollars to see watching their movie. Your creative will be one side, at the same time you need to make them look good as well. So that's how it's a difficult process, but you need to understand and do that. And then artists are the people for whom the people are coming, so you need to make them look good also. It's not just, I told you, as beautiful images alone. you need to understand the features. Right from Allu Arjun when I shot Arya, I generally do a test, makeup test. Every movie, even a superstar Rajni sir also, he's been there in this for 36 years. But then I want to do a test shoot. It's not test for him, test for me. I understand him, how his nose looks, how to light up his eyes. See, say for example, when you shoot a Marlon Brando, he used to have high sockets, deep set eyes. So how to shoot him? Allu Arjun, how is his face, how to shoot him? So like that, Mahesh Babu sir, I also shot a test shoot for him. I understood him very well and started lighting. I mean, you need to highlight the plus. That's very important for a cinematographer. At the same time, you don't lose your look of the movie. For my first concern is look of the movie. I said the look of the movie, how it should look. Within that, how you should make your hero or heroine look pretty or good based on the scene. So everybody were telling me Mahesh Babu was working at his best. He's a wonderful artist to work with. I personally really like him very much. As a human being or as an actor, he's a perfectionist. He understands technicians very much. So it's when I say this light has to come through here, then he just waits for that. He loves lighting. Every single frame when he sees, he says, wow, he said, that is what kicks you, that gives you energy. He enjoys the process. Just not only performance, and he's a very perfectionist. Even when you tell him, I want the hero, want you to wear red, this grey color costume, this particular scene, look is like this. He immediately doesn't bother, he just goes and wears. And this kind of texture of fabric, lighting, everything, that is very important. You should have confidence on your cinematographer or technician. That confidence is good. Same way when he asked for Rajinikanth sir, he gives me full freedom in choosing his costume or looks. So it's basically we take care of him. In all the movies when you see, Robo also, Rajni sir or Aishwarya Rai looked at her best, everybody were telling. She was telling. Samira Reddy in Varanam Aayiram, or any movie, even Kumari 21F, Heba Patel. Well, basically, it's a responsibility of a cinematographer to take care of his artist. It's not just creating high contrast look in a visual and making shadows on a hero or heroine's face alone. When it's required, you need to do that. Most of the time, what is your character? So,
when you're working with such very talented artists, are you not tempted to go for an extreme close-up because you want to capture their mood or emotions so well?
Yeah, we do that. When we have double cameras, we try to go for close-up, but then it's basically that scene demands or not is very important. Okay. The scene we don't require a tight close-up, then we don't go. When you see Nenokkadine, the climax, last portions, where Mahesh Babu was performing, were up close shots, very tight close shots, tears rolling from his eyes, and that mood was conveyed through visual.
Right. Talking about Mahesh Babu, you're working with him again in Brahmotsavam, and it's also the first time you're working with Srikanth Adala. So, what made you say yes to that film, and how's it going?
It all happened like one day, Mr. Mahesh Babu called me. He told, so there's a nice script. Srikanth is the director. Srikanth earlier worked with me in Arya. He was Sukumar's assistant. So, in fact, Srikanth was approaching me for his first movie also, and second movie also. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that movie. This time, Mahesh had told me, it's a brilliant script, you need to listen to it. You just tell me a feedback, how it is. If you like, we'll go ahead. Then Srikanth came and narrated me the script. In fact, it was really good. Even for me, I've never done a family subject. Yeah. So I thought I should do, and it's a nice message also. It's got a very good social message in the movie, and a good family feel. I really liked it.
Okay. So are we going to see a brand new Mahesh Babu in this film?
Hopefully. It's got a lot of artists. Every frame is like some 30, 40 artists are there in the frame. It's a good movie. Let's see. I can't talk much about the movie right now. And you can see a different Mahesh Babu altogether. He's done a brilliant performance. He looks really good, fresh, chiseled.
Chiseled. That's a word that I think a lot of people will notice that. When you're working with so many artists in one frame, right? Like, does it become a little cumbersome or difficult for you to manage all of them, or even to light up a frame like that? Right? It would require additional effort, right?
Yeah, it's really difficult because each artist will be in a different skin tone. One will be dark, one will be fair, and then the mood also. But basically, you need to understand the mood. What kind of mood the scene demands, that is more important. So I go based on that.
So in that context, what's been the toughest scene in your career to crack? Talking about mood, right? In your career.
I mean, these are very easy for me. I can do it in like that. But the toughest point happens like Nenokkadine, I told you, in the parking lot fight. Suddenly something will happen. Like Suku in Nenokkadine, one scene, he shoots everything through his still camera. So the entire fight happens through a still camera point of view. And extreme low light condition. Suku says, hero puts on a timer and then takes the pictures. But then it's extreme low light, you don't see the person who it is. People are coming to attack him. You don't see who it is, but then you need to see them. These kind of things are very tricky. So understanding that, working within the parameters is very important.
You're dealing with a lot of unknown variables on a daily basis, be it weather conditions or low light, or even the way the light deviates from what you want exactly. So does it become tough for you or challenging to deal with all that and still deliver it within a required point of time?
No, like everybody faces different kind of pressure. Say for example, a cricketer, when he goes into a pitch, suddenly pitch plays a different thing, havoc. The British condition, it's like bouncy track, or here it plays spin. It happens. But then we can go the predetermined, like Nenokkadine, when there's a father-son bonding, when he goes searching for his past, when he's running, where you see Gautham and Mahesh Babu sir running in that shots, I wanted it to be more emotional, that feel. And then the background also, we predeterminedly, we wanted this kind of look, correct light falling. So I didn't waste production time. When I go scouting, I see the sun seeker. It tells me the exact time. Okay, 3 to 4, you get this light. Morning 7 to this. So we put it on a paper. We'll tell the production manager or who is the line producer, 7 to 9, I need to shoot this shot. 3 to 4 this. So you don't sit and wait for light. We'll be canning something else and again you come and shoot. See, overall we achieve that quality also within the production time.
So you've never waited too long to get that one right shot at that particular moment?
I mean, at present it's very difficult. The reason is it's become too competitive. You need to be fast and deliver quality. Today speed with quality decides. That's most important. Like say for commercials I used to shoot 3 or 4 days some 15 years back. But now one day match. You need to deliver quality, at the same time speed, you have to finish in time.
You've been in the industry for almost 20 years now, 22, is it?
Yeah. 20 years, yeah. I was a DOP, yeah.
Right. So what's been the biggest change which sort of sent ripples across the industry?
No, actually speaking, there's a drastic change happened from analog to digital process. Okay. I've seen like 60-70% of the film, the cameramen who were using negative, suddenly vanished. Now it's become very sad. I recently went for a cinematographer's meeting. It was pathetic, like they wiped out.
They're out of business.
Yeah, out of business. The reason is technology is grown and you don't travel with the technology. So that's why I tell you, like, you need to upgrade yourself frequently. And they couldn't adapt themselves according to the digital era. And it's very sad.
So talking about Kumari 21F, it's the first time you're doing a sort of a low budget film in Telugu, because two relatively newcomers, there's just 1 or 2 films old. So what made you say yes to that? I mean, I understand that it was Sukumar sir's first film, but was there first film as a producer, but was there anything more to that made you?
No, that's what Suku was telling me. You want to produce a low budget movie, interesting love story. When it comes to love, Suku is superb. He's a master in writing love stories. So, and then I told Suku, okay, good, you're producing a movie, I'll come and shoot. But then the script has to be interesting. I told Suku, if you don't like this, please don't do this movie. I'll impress you with the script. We cracked a very good line, he told. That's how it happened. Once the thing was on, then I started seeing it from my perspective. It was written by Suku, story screenplay. Pratap was the director. So how to give the same quality which I deliver for Suku. So those things were discussed. And again, do's and don'ts. When you do a low budget movie, what are the things you shouldn't do? I started writing down.
What was it for this film?
Yeah, see, originally what happened, they had planned to shoot this movie in Krishna Nagar and all this full narrow lanes and crowded portion. Then when I listened to the script, I told no, this script shouldn't happen here. It should happen in an isolated area, a little bit far away, little more of green. Though it's a middle class area, it should have the freshness of the girl, that the green should be there, long avenue should be. So those things really help. Though we shot within a shoestring budget, but the production value looked something else. Reason because deciding what should be your background, what should be a color, that is very important. So, and then how this girl should look. She's a dreamy girl, she's very modern. I mean, how should we project her? So that's how I decided all these things.
I was talking to Heba Patel a few days back, and she looks very different on screen, in the film compared to her real self. So did you have to work a lot around her to make her that good on screen?
No, generally I told you, like I take her more of an artist, hero or heroine. I do a test shoot, study their face, then try to highlight the best things. Some artists, when you put a hard light, they look awfully bad. Some artists with a hard light, they love character. When I did Nanda, I was using a lot of hard lights in that movie, that sunny feel, hard light. See, Nanda, as I told you, I was using a lot of wide angle lens and hard light because the character is very powerful, Surya and Raj Kiran. So I tried to use a lot of hard light, bring out their character, powerful characters in them. But for some actors, when you put a hard light, the porous skin looks very awfully bad, they don't look good. So that you need to study which artist skin looks good for them with a hard light or a soft light or fully soft light. That you need to decide. How do you show a heroine? That is very important. So I studied Heba's features and started showing her in the best way. In most of the movies, like I told you, Samira Reddy or Aishwarya Rai or anybody, I concentrate on the face. That's very important because the whole script revolves around this girl, heroine, Heba Patel. So she needs to look really appealing. People have to start loving her. That is very important. So that's how I started concentrating.
Is that your approach for a lot of these commercial films to make the girl look the best?
Yeah, sure.
Because it was Samira Reddy and then Aishwarya Rai, she was stunning in that film, and even Kriti Sanon, she looked fantastic. Now Heba Patel, so...
No, that's what some people might have a long nose, so you shouldn't highlight the nose and make it more longer. Some people have a deep set eyes, so when you don't light up the eyes, they look, you don't get the expression. Some people have a round face. Again, when you put a soft box light, they look plumpy. So those things, over the years of experience, you study their face and start lighting according to them.
So who, according to you, has the most photogenic face?
No, it depends on the film and the character. For this film, Heba might be good. I mean, it's like that.
Let's say it was not a film. You're not shooting a film, but let's say you're shooting a commercial. Who do you think has the most photogenic face?
Now, if I say one girl, others will call and scold me.
But is there something called as a great photogenic face which is perfect for a film?
Yeah, it's there. I mean, right features. But at times what happens, some girl with a dusky skin will look really stunning than a fair looking girl. Or some small imperfection will look very better. Little bit bad teeth, a little bit squint eyes, that will look good also, based on the character of a film.
How does world look from your point of view? What do you think of the world?
No, it's very interesting. The way you see is very important. See, same, Charminar looks different for different people. How do you look? It's been there for quite some time, daily watch it. But then how do you look it? When you're shooting a movie, what's your perspective? That is very important. Even whenever I work with Suku, that's why the relationship, suddenly I see some light falling on the ground and reflecting. Suku, this is a correct spot, let us shoot. What you see, then when he sees on the screen, it's different. That is very important. It's very spontaneous. And over the years of experience, you go to a cathedral, you go to a temple, Varanasi, or you go abroad, Switzerland or Auckland or anywhere. That helps you a lot. Travel helps you a lot.
Okay. So are you an avid traveler? Do you?
Yeah, whenever time permits, I travel. And most of the movies we travel. For recce, during location recce we travel. Apart from them, I travel for the family also.
You shot in Peru, man, like Machu Picchu. That was like, I could never imagine that an Indian film will be shot there. So that must have been quite an adventure, right? To just go there and shoot.
My God, it was a horrible trip. From here to Dubai 4 hours, from there some 18-20 hours to Brazil, Sao Paulo. From Sao Paulo 5 hours flight to Lima. From Lima 1 hour flight to Cusco, and then acclimatizing. Then again 4 hours by train. Again 2 hours by car. No, it's very long travel. But then suddenly when you hit the spot, my God, what a place you will feel. That's what is very important.
And the song was also amazing. When the Brazil song that you shot in.
Yeah, Sao Luis. I mean, recently they discovered the place. That's what they told. Because no access. You should take a 2 hours ferry from this place and then hit the desert. From there 1 hour by 4-wheel drive. Or else travel a 4 hour 4-wheel drive, and it's very true. You have to go through forest and all. So nobody, I mean, even a Hollywood production, they can't afford to do that because taking a whole crew with tent and it's very difficult and expensive. So nobody tried. So we really got kicked by the location. I told Shankar, I will do this. He told Peru, okay, we're doing this again. Sao Paulo, no, I mean, sorry, this Sao Luis is a Maran Hannes place. It's very difficult. I told, let us do. When Rajni sir and Aishwarya, he told, generally with Rajni sir, songs we have a lot of dancers and all this. No, let us go by the confidence. I can guarantee you good visual.
Oh, that was your suggestion to shoot there. Okay.
So we just went and shot it. Rajni sir looked so young and dapper with the guitar and style.
When I saw that visual, I was like, okay, this is definitely CG. This cannot exist.
That's all real. That's all real.
Right. So you spoke about Rajiv Menon being one of your biggest influences right after college, right? So are there anybody whom you're vastly influenced by when it comes to your work?
No, we grew up watching Mani Ratnam and PC Sriram's work. PC sir is a fantastic DOP, I mean, who really brought respect to Indian cinematography. The way he composed images, the way he lit up. He gave, people started knowing about cinematography. I mean, earlier masters were there like Balu Mahindra, genius cinematographers there. I mean, my influence started like, I worked with Rajiv and I really liked his work. Janusz Kaminski, he was a DOP for Spielberg. For the past 17 and 20 years, he's been working only with Spielberg. And he's done some magic, Saving Private Ryan, Schindler's List. I mean, a lot of movies. I mean, path-breaking cinematography. In Munich, you must have watched. Phenomenal work he's done.
Right. So only that guy?
Yeah, because he's the person who really plays with light. I mean, I'm a good fan of Roger Deakins and a lot of Wilmore Zsigmond. I watched a lot of, but then some particular people you like them, no, for their style, and he shoots very fast like me, and delivers good quality. And I think light is something very important. Light plays a major role. Brings out the character. It's cinematography is not superficial. You have to travel deep into the layer. One more layer you have to travel. So that gives a character. For me, lighting with flat lights doesn't give you emotion. You know to pick up the emotion through your lighting. So
if you were given a choice between an indoor set and an outdoor location, natural light versus whatever lights you use on the set, what would you prefer? Like, do you have a favorite among the two?
I would like to go for an indoor, not sets, but for an indoor, and I need to build up contrast in the set and convey the story. Outdoor, any beautiful visual background, Kashmir in background, a Dal Lake, you can compose in a different angle and make it look good. But then the real challenge falls when you shoot indoor to create that, like when we shot Nenokkadine, some portions we couldn't shoot in Ireland. I shot in Hyderabad Film City. Nobody could believe that. Suku, that day when we were traveling in car, brother, you remember this is the place where you shot Ireland, you were telling me. I felt really happy. I recreated Ireland here. So creation is much more.
Have you ever cried while watching a film because it was so beautiful or emotional, in terms of visuals?
I felt happy, not really cried, like Tree of Life and all these movies. I was very much moved by Saving Private Ryan. The way it was captured, it was the whole cinematography was through a combat cameraman point of view. So you feel like you are getting into the war field. That made me very emotional. Generally, you get some dramatic or stunning visuals through shooting a battlefield. But this particular movie, it's like you're traveling into the war field, you know, all this thing.
Before shooting Linga, right, you were writing your own script which you wanted to direct. So what happened to that now? Is it still on the cards?
It's not God. I was writing 2 scripts. One was almost ready. Unfortunately, a movie which got released recently, which became a big hit, was very close to my line. I can't say the name. I wrote 3.5 years for that script and worked really hard on it. Okay. Unfortunately, when the film got released, I got really upset, and for 2 weeks I didn't talk to anybody.
Which one was this? Telugu film, Tamil film?
Tamil film, which became a big blockbuster. This year? I can't tell the year, and I'm sorry about it. I mean, sometimes it happens.
I think I have a faint idea of what you're talking about, but yeah, let's give that a second.
And there's another international line also in thought process. So probably I'll be doing it next year.
Are you ready for direction, or will the cinematographer in you pull you back for some more years and say?
Yeah, of course. No, I'll be doing both. It's not like I want to like KV Anand just get into direction alone. I mean, I love cinematography. I can't really quit this. I just do for my satisfaction, I might direct a movie or so, and then come back to cinematography. Whenever I like to do a good script, I'll go and.
What's your biggest challenge when you're on a set, sir? Like that first day of shoot, what's your biggest challenge there?
The biggest challenge is like understanding the director. When you're working with a new director, you will go in a different perspective. Suddenly they come out with some other thing, which if it doesn't synchronize, no, it's horrible. So you cannot take it.
Has it happened to you, like in your career?
Sometimes it's happened. Then again I chill down, I just go take a breath, come out. Okay, this is his film. We'll have to go within the parameters. At the same time, even I need to deliver good result. That's happened. That's the reason I never commit too many films. I do only very less films, and with good directors.
So do you always tell yourself this is a director's film, not your film, not your film?
Yeah, I tell that, but then you need to translate it, no? See, some directors may not have the vision to translate it to the screen. If you just translate the way they want, it will become a mediocre project. So they might have a good script, but that script, translating the script to taking to next level is very important. That I constantly do.
I asked on Twitter if there are any questions for Rathnavelu and some of the people wanted to know few things which I wanted to ask you here. First question was, why are you not working with Sukumar garu again for Nannaku Premato, and what was the reason that you said you didn't work together?
Actually, I would never, miss Suku's film. Suku narrated me Nannaku Premato, and then I was there into the script for 4 months. Every single scene I was just thinking how to shoot this. London portion, how do I do? Or maybe Scotland, or what kind of visual it should be. Suku and me discussed a lot in length about the movie. Unfortunately, the movie got postponing like next month. Like I started skipping. Already after a big movie like Linga, I rejected 3 big movies and I did Kumari. I was fully into Kumari. Kumari also got stretched for some time. So then I couldn't really, that's the reason. Otherwise, I would love to work with Suku. And our collaboration is really, he misses me badly and I miss him badly. That's the thing. And maybe Suku's next film, surely I'm doing.
Okay, so you have decided, or is it like a wish that you want to do?
Yeah.
Is it like a wish that you want to do?
He told I can never see the world without your eyes, he told me.
Right. Another question was, why don't a lot of Indian DOPs, at least people who work in commercial cinema, work on, let's say, documentaries or short films which can, bring awareness or take Indian cinema to an international level?
I mean, the transition is happening now. Of late, people didn't have the scope to do that. Now, a lot of opportunities are opening up, and I think it's growing. And a lot of younger generation cinematographers have come, so it'll happen. Even I have a couple of English movies, small English movies to shoot. Offers have come. Probably next year, sometime when I'm free, I might think about it.
Another question was, you started off your career with a lot of commercials, and you also do a lot of commercials in between your big films, right? I read somewhere that you've done almost 2,300 commercials so far. Is that true?
True. I've done more than 2,500 commercials. Initially, in the beginning portion of my career, I started shooting a lot of commercials only. That helped me a lot, especially with the speed and quality and technique. But later, my passion was more towards cinema, movie, because money making is a different ball game. More than money, I felt my passion is more towards good script and good cinema. That is where, when I shoot a Sachin Tendulkar commercial, after 6 months somebody will shoot something. I shot Sachin, which Sachin Tendulkar they ask you? Which commercial? So when I did a Sethu, now we are talking about Nanda or Sethu. After 17 years, we are asking me about the movie. That name is there. So that's the reason. And moreover, you have a lot of freedom in movie making. You don't have to think about your what is the agency or the client or something. See, today night I sing something, tomorrow morning I come with a fresh idea, I just start shooting. It's like that. I really enjoy the process.
One person wanted to know what your remuneration is.
Okay, I have my remuneration, but then for Kumari, what do you say? I'm doing because of my passion, I'm doing a small movie. I did a movie, biggest budget movie in India, Robo. Immediately I shot a movie called Haridas. It was about an artistic child. So that whole movie budget was 2.5 crores. Should I ask my Robo remuneration for that? No.
Is there a dream, unfulfilled dream, which you want to really do in near future?
Probably next year I'll be doing. I've got some nice offers. I told you overseas projects are there.
Oh, okay.
So probably I might.
It was a great pleasure talking to you, sir. So all the best for your career ahead.
Thank you so much.